If you want to attract better clients for your local service-based business, then in this video, we're going to break down 3 things. Number 1, what most local businesses struggle with right now. Number 2, how to attract better clients to your business, as the name suggests. And number 3, exactly how you can do this today. So let's talk about something that almost every local service business struggles with, even the ones that do incredible work. Oftentimes, they're stuck dealing with bad clients. They're stuck taking on small projects, and they're stuck with clients who don't value their work. And oftentimes this stems from the fact that they don't have a predictable way to actually attract clients and generate their own leads for their local business. So they end up relying on things like word of mouth right here. They end up waiting for referrals, and they end up invisible to the buyers who would actually pay them the most. And like I mentioned, this does come back to the fact that most local businesses do not have a predictable way to attract local clients to their business. So if you are somebody who wants better clients, if you want bigger projects to take on, and you want to work with people who actually value your work and not just the cheapest option on Google, then the truth is the businesses winning right now aren't the best. And if you're wondering, what do you mean they aren't the best? They're the best known by the people who actually have money to spend on their services. So I've said this before and I'll say it again. The best known business beats the best business when the best isn't known. So what does that even mean? If you are the best known business, meaning the most people know about you, everybody in your city knows who you are and they know what you do, you will end up getting a majority of that business because you're top of mind and you are the first option that people think of. So even if you aren't the best at what you do, if you aren't the best service provider out there, you can still end up becoming the best known business, which will then lead to you being the best and the one that wins because you stand out the most, you have the most attention, and the most people are coming to you for your services. So if you want to know how to become the best known local business and actually attract better clients to your local business, that's exactly what I'm going to break down for you today, because one of our clients here used this exact strategy to land a dream project that completely transformed his business. This is Sean here. He's the co-founder and CFO of Veritas, which is a licensed general contracting business, and he generated a $350,000 home renovation. And where did it come from? You guessed it, Instagram. And look at how he spelled that. Look at Sean. He's got a great sense of humor. He spelled Instagram with a money sign instead of the S, just to show you that's exactly where it came from. He made $500,000 in one day right before a holiday weekend. And look at this. It was a mighty nice treat. He did this following this exact Instagram strategy. And the way he did this was not just by posting more content. It wasn't because he went and spent a fortune on advertising. It's simply because he finally started showing up where the high value buyers already were. So he realized where the attention was, which was here on Instagram, and he started showing up there, and it led to results like this. Now, am I telling you right now that you are going to guaranteed make $500,000 in a single day following this strategy? Absolutely not. But I am telling you that if you do start showing up where the high value buyers already are, then you can have results similar to this for your business in a short amount of time. Because the simple fact of the matter is that the attention is in a certain place right now. And if you are able to capitalize on that attention and you know how to capture attention and you know how to funnel it through this actual strategy here to then convert that attention into clients, then you can get results very similar to this for your local business. So let me zoom out here for a second. I want to show you the 3-step system here of how you can actually do this. And this is what's going to determine whether you attract those bad headache clients or dream clients who actually value what you do. And now this is what I like to call the local ad and content system. And what's great about this is it is just comprised of 3 main things, like I mentioned. So number 1 are hyper-targeted local Instagram ads. And now what these are doing are getting you seen by the right people in the right neighborhoods, in the right zip codes, in your local city. So it's getting you to show up there. Number 2, we have trust building content. And now what this is doing, it is showing how you solve problems better than anyone else. So it shows exactly how your processes work and what makes you different and what makes you unique. And people can actually see this information and actually build trust with you to the point where they're ready to actually book a call with you. And the way we do that is through DM conversations. So the reason we do this is because that's where real buyers are making decisions today. So instead of places like websites or landing pages or lead forms, all those other things, when you can start a real human conversation with somebody and see if they need help with your services and then book them in for an appointment from there, that's the easiest progression that we've found. Because yes, we've done the strategies of running the lead forms and getting people to book calls directly from ads. But what we found is that it's so much easier to actually add this step in here with the trust building content where we actually build trust with the leads before we get them to fill out a form or to actually book a call with our business. And what you find when you do this is that your actual show up rates will be much lower. The trust that is built before the call even happens is so great that you'll have people who jump on calls and they're already sold on you as a person and they're already sold on what it is that you do. So it's just a matter of how much does it cost to actually use your services at that point? So people are pre-sold on you as a person and pre-sold on you and the services that you offer to the point where when they jump on a call, pretty much they're just asking what the price is at that point because they've already seen the value that you provide through the rest of this strategy. So let's dive in here. I want to go into the specifics of this, starting with number one, the actual local ad itself. So like I said, this is a hyper-targeted local Instagram ad. And what do I mean when I say hyper-targeted? Well, let's take a look here. If you have the actual latitude and longitude coordinates of the place where you want to target your local Instagram ads, you can absolutely do that. You can drop a pin on the map right here on a specific street, on a specific intersection, and you can show your ads right in that area. That's how specific you can get with these ads. Now, do I recommend doing that? Absolutely not. I would typically recommend just dropping a pin, say in a central area in your city, or just actually typing in Wilmington, North Carolina, if you're here in Wilmington, and then you can just create a small radius around the city. So this depends. Where does your business service? Do you service directly in the city that you're located in, or do you service the surrounding areas? You have complete flexibility to drop multiple pins in multiple different areas and select different radiuses. And what's great about this is that you can actually see the estimated audience size that you're going to be reaching when you're targeting each specific location. Typically, I would just drop one single pin, say in Wilmington, and just set it to about a 20 to a 15 mile radius. And what that's going to do is it's going to show you actually the estimated reach that you have on a daily basis. So by doing this and spending anywhere from $20 to $50 per day, you're going to be reaching anywhere from 5 to say 13,000 people on a daily basis. You're just going to be showing up on their phones. Your advertisement's going to be running in that area. So anybody who is in that specific area that opens up their phone and opens up Instagram is going to see your video ad showing up there. So that's why this is super powerful, because if, let's say you sell a high ticket service and you want to target a specific higher end part of your town, say you know about the landfalls or about the Figure Eight Islands or the Porter's Neck areas, and those are the type of areas that you want to sell your services in, you can just drop a pin in those specific neighborhoods and start targeting people in that specific area. So that's the magic here with these hyper targeted local Instagram ads, is that you're not wasting your ad dollars. You're not going and spending your ad dollars in all these different places, or not even targeting your ads at all. And you run a local business here in Wilmington and it's showing up in California. That's a complete waste. When you have this sort of flexibility to actually pinpoint where you want these ads to show up, you're going to have cheaper cost per leads, and you're going to have way better clients because you're actually targeting the specific areas where you want to service. So something to keep in mind with these ads is that you do have complete flexibility over when these ads are running. So you can turn them on, you can turn them off at any point in time. You can adjust your budget. This is just what I recommend, is $20 to $50 per day, so that you're actually getting consistent reach. But if you want to run an ad at say $10 a day or even $1 a day, which you would probably reach maybe 100 people if you did that, but you do have the flexibility to do that. So just understand you are not locked in with these ads. You don't have to run them for a full month or a full year or spend a set amount every day. Let's say you want to book a couple extra jobs for the month. You can just go in and spend say $50 to $100 a day for maybe a week. And then once you actually generate all the leads and book all the jobs that you need, you can just go and turn those ads off. There's nothing wrong with that at all. So you have complete control and complete flexibility when it comes to the ads. And that leads me to number two, is like, what are we going to do once we have these ads running? Well, what we're going to do is actually create trust building content, and we're going to post that onto our Instagram profile. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to jump over to Instagram, and I want to show you Sean's Instagram right here. And this is exactly where the local ad is taking people to. So in that local ad, he's not telling people to go to the website. He's not asking them for their name or their phone number or their email. He's literally just driving them to his Instagram profile. And the reason he's doing this is because he's filled his Instagram profile with trust building content, like we talked about. So if I scroll down here, you can see there's plenty of video content. There's some static images here as well, just showing his services. But if we jump over to the Reels tab here in the middle, you can see all of these videos, right? So if I scroll down here, there's plenty of videos. It's not that many, right? He's only got 39 posts in total. And that's the great thing about this. He doesn't need to crank out a ton of content because what he's doing is just creating specific trust building videos that are just for these specific people who would actually want to buy and work with his business. So that's the key here. I see so many business owners making the mistake of trying to copy trends or trying to go viral and do all these other crazy things. Whereas all Sean is doing here is just creating content for his specific ideal client. And what do I mean by that? Let's jump back over to his main profile. If we go here, again, keep in mind, you just saw Sean's local ad. You're somebody who wants to remodel your home or get a kitchen remodel or whatever it is, and you see Sean's ad. And then you land on his page and this is what you're greeted by. You see, okay, well, it says to start here. Maybe I'll just click here and start here. So when I click here, I'm going to see video content of Sean, the actual owner of the company, actually talking about his services. So let's read this caption here. You can see the video obviously on the screen, but let's just read the caption and see what Sean is talking about here. So keep in mind, I'm a person who is considering renovating my home, but I don't know who I'm going to go with. And I'm just on Instagram, I'm scrolling around and I see Sean's ad and it says, okay, come check out my profile, click on my page and see what it's all about. And then I land on here and this is what I see. Remodeling shouldn't feel like a nightmare, but too often it does. Stress, delays, budgets that somehow grow overnight. Does this sound familiar? So Sean has very effective copywriting here, right? And you might be laughing and thinking like, okay, like why does that matter? Why is that important? But keep in mind, if you're somebody who is looking to actually remodel your home, and then you land on this page and you start to see this content and you start reading the caption here and you say, man, remodeling, I'm thinking about it, but honestly, it kind of feels like a nightmare. And then you read that and you say, wait a minute, Sean really understands me. He knows that remodeling shouldn't feel like a nightmare, and he actually knew that I was thinking that. That's very interesting. So it just goes to show the effectiveness of the copywriting here, right? This is what we're doing. We're just building trust with people through this content. And the way that we're doing it is just by empathizing with them, right? We're telling them, hey, look, it doesn't have to be that way. Seriously, you can have a remodel where the design actually matches your budget, where you know what's happening at every step and where the end result feels like you. So keep in mind, if you are a person who is looking to remodel your home and you read that, what are you going to think, right? You're going to immediately be like, wow, this guy really gets it, and just suspend your disbelief for a minute here and just play along with me. Just think about that, right? Maybe this doesn't resonate with you because you could care less about remodeling your home. But remember, the whole point here is that Sean is making this content specifically for the person in his area who is wanting to renovate their home, but maybe they're on the fence. Maybe they're saying, oh man, like it's going to be a nightmare, right? There's too much stress, there's too much delays, and then the budget just goes crazy. But Sean is directly addressing how he makes sure that doesn't happen. He tells you, look, if you've been putting this off because you're worried about the hassle, just start with a conversation, right? There's no pressure. Let's just explore what's possible. So he's inviting you here. He's making it easy for you to take the next step. That's the whole idea here. So again, if you're not bought into this, if you're saying, oh, that wouldn't convince me, keep in mind, there is a specific person out there who struggles with these specific issues, and that's all that Sean is talking to. So that's why this is so effective. He's created his profile in a way where when somebody comes in from his ad, they're then just going to consume all of this content. And like I said, he only has 39 posts, and not all those are videos. If you look down here, there's only, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 22 videos, right? 22 videos. That's all he has on his profile. That's all he needs, because when people see his ads and they come to his profile, they're able to just consume this content and see all the information that they need to see before they're ready to make a decision. Even here, happy clients. Look at this. There's a video of Sean with an actual client that he's worked with, and the client is telling Sean about his experience working with his company. So again, keep in mind, if you're a person who's looking to remodel your home and you're saying, oh, I don't know, this might be too stressful or too hectic, I don't want to do it. And then you stumble across this video where there's an actual homeowner, an actual client that has worked with Sean and with his company. And you can see he's directly talking about, man, I was nervous to do this. I wasn't sure about it to start, but I did it anyway. And here's my experience. So that's the whole idea here. Even the dog, look at this dog here, right? This dog looks so happy. He's not even looking at the camera because he's enjoying his remodeled home so much, right? You see what I'm saying? Okay. The fact of the matter is that he has strategically made this content for his specific ideal client. So again, if you're looking and thinking about a remodel and you land on this page and you see this content, you're going to immediately trust Sean, and you're going to immediately see from another homeowner, not even from Sean's mouth. Sean's not saying, oh, this is how great I am. This is the services we provide. This is coming from an actual client of Sean who had an experience with his company. And now if you're a prospect and you're seeing this, you can see from somebody who is almost exactly like you what his experience was like working together. So shout out to Sean. This is great job with this trust building content. And look at the little dog over there again. He's a great guy. Awesome. So this is it. The strategy here is really just informing your customers. You're answering frequently asked questions. You're really just showing up as a person and showing that you're a real human being. And that's what leads into the next step here. So once you have that trust building content, what we're going to end up doing is starting DM conversations, right? This is the next step. So this is how we're actually booking calls with people, and we're actually seeing if we can help them. We're actually scheduling appointments. We're actually giving quotes, and we're actually generating more sales and more clients from this strategy. So just to clarify, this is not Sean's DM, okay? This is actually a DM example from my own personal DMs, because I'm using this exact same strategy where I'm running a local ad to drive traffic to my Instagram profile. And then once people consume the content on my Instagram profile, I then start a DM conversation with them to see if I can help. And if I can, I'll book a call with them and then see if I can help them with my services. So again, this is not Sean's DM. This is my own personal DM. I am not in Sean's DMs. What happens in his DMs is his business. So that's totally on him. But for the sake of example here, I want to show you just how simple this can be. So this is exactly what I do when it comes to starting conversations. So keep in mind, someone sees a local ad. They click on the profile, they follow me, they see the rest of my content, they check it out, and then I start a conversation with them. And it's just as simple as this. I just start the conversation. For sake of example, I blurred this out to save this person's identity because I don't want to be showing anybody's information. Let's just say this person's name is David. So all I said here was just, David, what up, man? With a little exclamation point. Because I'm excited, right? I'm happy to talk to him. I said, look, I appreciate you checking out the content, right? This was at 3:25 p.m. This was yesterday. And then David sent me a message the next morning. Here's what he said. He said, hey, man, exclamation point. Because he's excited too. And this is what David said. Look, he said, would love to jump on a short call. What do you think he wants to talk about, right? Keep in mind, he saw the local ad, and my ad is talking about the services that I provide. It's talking about marketing. It's talking about generating more leads. And what do you think he wants to talk about? You think he wants to talk about the weather? He wants to talk about the content maybe, or maybe he wants to talk about help with the actual services that I provide through my business. There's only one way to find out. I would just have to hop on the call with David and find out what it is that he's looking for. But this is obviously a very specific example, but it just goes to show how simple this can really be, right? You run the simple ad targeting people in your local area. You have some content on your profile that just shows that you're a real person and actually builds trust with them and provides some value with them, to the point where once you actually send a message to them and start a conversation, they're very open to actually responding and actually wanting to jump on a call and just talk to you about your services. So obviously this is not what every single conversation looks like, but the fact of the matter here is that if you just open the conversation and start that conversation with somebody and just send them a simple message just like this, where you're just greeting them saying, hey, what's up? I appreciate you checking out the content. Are you just here for the videos, or are you actually looking for help with this specific service? You'd be amazed just by doing that and just by starting the conversation, how many people will actually respond and say, you know what? Yeah, I was actually thinking about this and I was actually looking into it. And then your ad showed up and now it's like, man, this is like, it's a layup, right? If you think about it. So like I mentioned, not every circumstance is like that, but just the fact of the matter that if you start the conversation and actually open up the conversation, people will be very open and very responsive if you just start that conversation. But honestly, there's been plenty of times where if I don't even do this and just open up the conversation and just not try to sell anything, just tell a person, hey, like, how are you doing? Nice to meet you. I appreciate you for following. I appreciate the support and for checking out the content, and just leave it at that. Like, don't try to sell anything. Just have a real human conversation. And a lot of times what happens is people will just then open up the conversation. We'll say, oh, hey, like, I'd love to hear more about what it is that you do. But if you never initiate that conversation and never start it, you're just leaving money on the table there. So this is the perfect example of what this can look like in terms of the DM conversations. And this brings me back to the whole initial strategy here of how to actually attract better clients using this local ad and content system. And really, it doesn't rely on luck. It just relies on visibility, where your buyers actually are now, and then building trust with people and having a system that actually does this for you on autopilot. And once you see this, you will understand why referrals alone end up keeping so many businesses stuck, because you're relying on something that is outside of your control to actually determine the growth and the scale of your business. Whereas if you can implement a system like this and actually have control over how many new people are seeing you on a daily basis and how many conversations you're starting in the DMs and how many calls you're actually able to book, it's pretty amazing what you can do in terms of scaling your business. So what do you actually do with all of this? It's honestly very, very simple. And I hope I got that point across to you. It doesn't have to be complex, right? Simple scales and complex fails. I've always said that. And it's hard to believe. Like in my mind, when I think about this, I'm like, can it really be that simple? And honestly, just try it for yourself. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe Sean. Just try it for yourself and see the type of results that you can generate without doing anything more complex than this. So obviously, yes, as you build this out and as you scale things out, it will be beneficial to incorporate things like retargeting ads or things like landing pages or opt-ins or different funnels. But if you're just starting out as a local business and you want to implement some lead generation and an actual way to attract better clients to your business, then starting with this simple system will absolutely get you results right out of the gate. This is what I would recommend at this point. Number one is just set up and run one simple local ad on Instagram. You want to target ideal clients in your area in specific neighborhoods or specific zip codes. And then you just want to answer their questions in your content. So take the time to create some short videos, actually get yourself on camera and post these videos onto your profile, because you already know that once you run this local ad, the logical thing that people are going to do is then go click on your profile and see, is this a real person? Is there any content on this page that I can see? Is there more information that I can learn about them? So just make sure that you have that. Once you've done that, you can just transition into starting DM conversations with those people who followed you from your ad. And then you can just see, do they need help with your services? Is this a good fit for you? You can qualify them and see if they can actually work with your business and you can actually help them. And from there, you can just start booking calls and actually generating more sales and more clients for your business. So it really is that simple. That's exactly how Sean did it. That's how dozens of businesses here in Wilmington are doing it right now. And that's how you can become the go-to choice in your market instead of just another option. So I hope you found all this helpful. If you want to see the exact 3-step system to take over your local market, just click the video on screen up here and I'll see you there.